And we're live. Sunday Service, episode number 37. We got a UFC Saudi card to recap. We got UFC 312 on the horizon. UFC, or Saturday, next Saturday, should be a pretty lackluster pay-per-view we're looking forward to. But either way, we get UFC fights on a Saturday. We get two title fights. I know everybody's just can't wait to watch, women's strawweight title bout, but it is pretty dang good. I got to assume Wei Li is one of the best women's fighters on the planet right now. And Tatiana Suarez has been waiting in the wings to become a champion for a very long time. And then we got DDP and Strickland. And last time these two fought, my goodness, there was a lot of controversy. And I'll never forget, I had a bet on DDP and I gave it out. It was a free play. I told the world I'm on DDP versus Strickland. And then DDP won. And I posted my reaction to cashing the bet. And then I lost like 1,000 followers from winning a bet. So here we are again. About almost a year later, I guess a year and a few weeks, honestly. It was the end of January of 2023. Very interesting fight because now DDP is a minus 220 favorite. But that's next week. We could talk about what happened last night, boys. Last night, I guess last afternoon, it wasn't a night card. Actually, I love those morning cards. You just got the rest of your Saturday and get to sleep in a little bit. UFC pay-per-views on the East Coast ended about 1 or 2 in the morning. And then I'm pumped after the fights or just a lot's going on and I can't fall asleep. So the morning cards are great. But my God, Izzy Adesanya, it's over, boys. It's all over. Izzy's going to the GFL. He's about to get his bag. No, I'm kidding. He's not going to the GFL, but it's almost GFL worthy. That's the meme nowadays. It's like, all right, this guy is not doing well. He's going to sign with the GFL. And Izzy, he should probably retire at this point because, what else is there to do? And I got to believe any fight moving forward is just, I guess, maybe just to stick with what he knows how to do, and that's to fight. And it's just for paychecks. What is he going to do? He's not really going to build his way back to a title fight at the age of 35, 36. And he's not going to move up to 205 and have success there. He's too thin. Can't wrestle. So Izzy's over, man. It's over for Izzy. Last night is do or die. Because if he beat Imavov, there's matchups for him that they could make in the future. But right now, it's over. Imavov took over and Izzy's cooked. Izzy's cooked, man. YouTube chat is popping off. James, what's going on, brother? Good to see you. Still don't think Rainier DeRitter has double champ potential. No, I do not. Sorry, brother. How have I been? I've been good, brother. I've been good. Back on the grind. We got a long streak of UFC fights every Saturday, which is always great. I hate when there's an off week like the week we had prior. It's just boring, man. It's just boring. So we got a lot to look forward to. IG chat is popping off as well. Thank you all for joining in the IG chat. If you're in the IG chat, come on over to YouTube. There's a link in my bio to join on YouTube. If you put your chats here on YouTube, you'll get them read on the screen. Women's fight to go the distance is a lock. Always, bro. You know this. It's not always. But more often than not, yes. What's up, Lechi? How we doing? What up, Ian? How you doing on this fine Sunday? Hopefully your Saturday went well. Izzy to GFL. He might be. I'm calling in with a 7-leg parlay and mispronouncing every name. Cash it. And the college show on Friday was great as always. If you didn't watch the college show for UFC Saudi, or if you didn't make it there, we'll have one for UFC 312 as well. Call in there on Friday with me and Maddie. It's so fun to hear you guys talk about your bets and just to chop it up with you. So looking forward to that on Friday, even though we got a lot to go over before that. Card was shite. MVP saved my ass with a big cash. Yeah, dude, MVP. I was saying it all week. If you watch any breakdown of mine on YouTube, I'm like, dude, no, MVP is not losing a striking battle. Like, you're going to have to grapple him, or at least try to. Like, you're not going to just outstrike MVP. It's not like the most exciting. Like, there are moments in the fight where MVP is exciting, but for the most part, he's going in there trying to hit you with these weird strikes where it's good for the judges optically. Like, optically, when he lunges in with that big right hand and pushes you over, it's good for the optics, but it doesn't do a whole lot. And then he's just gonna not get hit. He's gonna run around the cage, use his movement, and pretty much mind fuck you to the point where you're like, I don't know what to do. So then you have to resort to wrestling, and Sharmagomedov ain't got no wrestling. So I was pretty, I don't want to say pretty confident, but I was pretty sure that MVP would win a striking battle. The only worry was he's going up to 185. He's 37 years of age. So that's why I didn't go too heavy on it. But like, in a striking battle, MVP is going to win the fight over most guys. So yeah, shout out to MVP cashing it for us. Can't wait to see Izzy get TKO by Dan Henderson. Oof. In the GFL. That'd be sick. Hot take: Whitaker beats current Izzy. I don't know. I think they're both pretty washed, honestly. It's just a new age. It's a new age of middleweights, man. This is what we're seeing nowadays. Like, we have these guys, the Izzies, the Whitakers, and in like other weight classes, the Usmans, the Colbys, lightweight, you have, Gaethje, you have Poirier. They just can't hang with the new age fighters. And that's just what happens. Like, this age of like Izzy and Whitaker dates back to what, like 2017, 2018. 2018 is when Izzy came in, and they fought in 2019. But like, the new age is here. It's 2025. They're past their primes. We got new age fighters where Imavov wasn't that great when he came into the UFC. I mean, he lost to Phil Haas, but makes improvements. Fast, dangerous on the feet, solid wrestling, even though Izzy stuffed them all. And he just waited for his moment. Izzy's gotten a little bit slower. And when I was watching that fight, I couldn't help but like look at it. I'm like, Izzy seems kind of frantic. Like, he seems frantic to like get respect. He's trying to throw these big body kicks, land these combinations, run away, use his movement, but Imavov wasn't fazed by any of it. And in the first round, Izzy definitely won it based on volume, but the best shot that was landed was that uppercut that Imavov landed. And you could tell Izzy didn't like it. He got backed up against the cage. He was like, oh shit. And then round two, he just fucking starched him. It's the new age, boys. It's the new age. Prado seems like such a solid dog bet this week. I do kind of agree, but Prado's moving up to 170. I don't know how I like that, because he's not like a huge 155er, but we'll see. I think if Matthews wants to win, he's got to get takedowns. Jake Matthews KO hitting next week. So we got two guys on the opposite side to start off. Would you rather see a tree? Oh my God. All right. Hey, Izzy Chin isn't going to stop saying KG didn't have the brain to finish him. His chin has always been the same chin. I think Izzy's had a decent chin throughout his career. He's been able to recover when he gets dropped, but there comes a time. There comes a time when you get slower, you can't react as well, and you can't recover as well. The big right hand from Imavov was nasty. Like, it landed flush. He fully committed to it, but then that follow-up shot, that like left hook when Izzy was on the cage, that was what really did it. Because he probably could have recovered, but that left hook that he landed was like, that was the icing on the cake. Good stoppage too. Izzy was probably going to get TKO'd and hurt even worse. Where do you predict Khamzat will be by the end of 2025? That has a lot to do with what happens this weekend, I would say. I'll make a bold prediction. Where do I predict Khamzat being by the end of 2025? I predict Khamzat will have a loss by the end of 2025. I'll just say that. He will have a loss. Made the bag with Imavov and MVP. Couldn't figure out why MVP was a dog. I couldn't either. I guess maybe the weight and the age. That's the only thing I could really think of. The Hajai DDP train has to keep rolling, go bigger than ever this time. And still, dude, I really wish I could go big, but I don't feel great about DDP at minus 200 something, you know? Like, I just don't think it's fully warranted considering how close the last fight was. And I don't know how it plays out a lot differently in this one, unless DDP can land like a big shot and knock him out. But Sean is effective, boring but effective, and he's going to wear you out. So I wish I could go harder, but the books aren't really letting us, make some good moves on DDP anymore. His last 3 fights, I bet him at a pick 'em or an underdog, and now he's a minus 220 favorite. The books are catching up, boys. So I don't know. Jesse, I'm not reading that. I'm sorry, brother. How about our boy parlaying in the freezer? Hope that dude cashes a big one in the future. Man, I'm reminiscing on our Dana White Contender Series run, and that shit was fire. Oh, yeah. Dude, that guy in the freezer, in the live stream, the live college show, that's why I love doing it. Like, motherfuckers will be, I think he was a chef. Motherfuckers will be on the clock, go into the freezer of the restaurant they work at, to call into the show, to give us a parlay. Like, the dude needed that. He needed that parlay, and I don't think it hit. We'll have to look back and see if any of those hit. I don't think any of them did because there weren't any submissions, so you couldn't hit a cycle. And there were a lot of decisions. I do remember the one guy giving out Pavlovich by points, and that hit, so that was pretty nuts, but I'm sure he had it parlayed with something else that did not hit. The restaurant freezer parlays, gotta love them. They aren't washed. They came up and had runs in the worst time of skill. Yeah, I see that. I see that too. I actually do, because that's the thing I've been saying about Adesanya is like, dude, his title reign, it's like, Vettori twice. I guess he didn't fight Vettori twice for the, well, I guess he did. No, he didn't. He fought Whitaker twice for the title. Vettori, Cannonier, like, he just fought so often. It wasn't really like a lot of fresh contenders either. They did come up in a time where, they didn't improve the old shit fighters, just got shittier with further aging. It's true. It's kind of true. Jasmine, future champ. I mean, if she keeps this up, she's on her way, but she's got to act fast because she's like 36 or 37, dude. But she looks good. She looks good. Hear me out. Shamil versus Tuivasa. Zach, I'm in, bro. I'm in. Give me Shamil Gazia versus Tai Tuivasa. I'm all about it. Shamil stole the show. I mean, Shamil had the best performance out of anybody. I guess you could maybe say Imavov did. But Shamil stole the show, bro. One punch knockout. One punch knockout from the Blob. I didn't see that one coming, to be honest. He's dangerous in that first round. He is fast. For how fat he looks, he is fast in that first round. It's just after that first round, then he tends to slow down. But, the Blob's coming for that belt. He told John Jones he better run faster. And John Jones is sprinting right now. Sprinting to retirement because the Blob is coming. Who would you have in Talbot versus Vinicius? I would definitely take Vinicius. Vinicius is a dog, dude. He is a true fighter's fighter, bro. Like, he will go in there and you got to kill him. You got to kill him. And he has gotten away with so much bad technique. Like, the dude's striking looks disgusting. That fight was so sloppy, him and Saeed. Saeed is a clean striker, but he gets really sloppy when he's tired. And Vinicius is just sloppy, but he is such a dog and just creates this pace that guys don't like, that it works. It works. It's almost like Dricus. I compared his striking to Yuri because it's like looks sloppy. It's kind of awkward and it's very herky jerky. But he's actually kind of like Dricus, where he's just putting the pressure on you. He's huge for the weight class too, and he just melts guys. So Vinicius is a real problem. I would definitely take Vinicius over Talbot at this point. Talbot could maybe crack him because Vinicius has been KO'd like 3 times, and Talbot has some really nice striking. But I would assume Vinicius would try to bully him in the clinch and take him down. Rumors of BSD versus Joao Alvarez on 314. I saw that. I don't believe those rumors are true. But if they were, I would love that matchup. That'd be sick. Topuria versus Islam prediction. Topuria has all the tools to win. I would take Topuria, bro. If you're going to give me Topuria at like plus 300, I'm in. I'm in, bro. Topuria has better boxing than Islam. Obviously, Islam striking has come a long way, but like at kicking range, Islam would do decent. I think Topuria could counter wrestle. Topuria would just have to bulk up a little bit. He would just have to bulk up a little bit, you know? I think he's a real strong 145er. Islam's a really strong 155er. If that fight did happen, I would want Topuria to like take 4 to 5 months to like really try to bulk up. But I think Topuria could give him his toughest fight, honestly. I'm here for some more hot takes this week, man. Was missing the Sunday service last week. Low-key hilarious. Dana got you with the stream reflection. Yeah, dude. That was crazy. That was crazy. I was so pissed, too, because, like, we're streaming in a new location, and then, boom, we get hit with that. Come on, man. Come on. How long will DDP hold the title if he beats Strickland? If DDP beats Strickland this weekend, they're going to make the fight against Hamzat. And DDP's beating him, bro. You're going to give me DDP at underdog odds against Hamzat? I'm all about it. I think DDP gets the finish. ITD is a play. Yeah, maybe like wins inside the distance, decision, no action. Because I don't really think Strickland finishes him. Because DDP is a freaking dog. But you got to actually, I don't think DDP, one of DDP's 2 losses came in a rematch. Roberto Soldic, bro. You lost to Roberto Soldic after beating him. So it's 0-1 in rematches. Fuck, dude. I need DDP to win. I need the train to keep rolling. Do you think Izzy just got caught, or do you think he resumed the fight when he wasn't ready? I think he got caught, bro. Like, even if he wasn't ready, that's his own damn fault. I think he got caught. Imavov just timed the right hand perfectly. He knew when to go. He committed to it. Big right hand. I think he just got caught. Do you think Izzy is washed, or do you think he just got caught? I think he's washed and also got caught. Yes and yes. Chef Will put here, we'll smack a crazy one soon. Damn right, Chef Will. Like the stream up, boys. Appreciate you. Appreciate you. Like the stream up for me. It'll help with the analytics. Are you gonna slam Ilya by KO for free tickets at 314? I mean, are they making it Ilya versus Volk, or what are we doing? Because apparently that's the for sure thing, is like Ilya versus Volk 2 is the fight for UFC 314, but it hasn't been announced, and it sounds like it's maybe in jeopardy. So I don't know, bro. I don't know. If it does happen, I'll probably will slam Ilya by KO, but it'll be chalky, and maybe that's just not the move. I think DDP makes a statement against Strickland, finishing him, then loses to Hamzat. Come on, he beat Hamzat. Get out of here. It sucks Gilbert has to gatekeep Morales, is a future champion. It is a very tough fight for Gilbert. I mean, Morales is a beast, but, you know, who is Morales beat? Neil Magny's of the world. He ain't beaten a Gilbert Burns yet, you know? So it's not like Gilbert don't have the tools to beat him. I think Morales is a huge 170er, though. Young guy. I wouldn't count Gilbert out. Let's just say that. Do you think DDP wins decisively? Title rematches haven't worked out well for many to regain the strap outside of Izzy. I think if he does win, which I am going to pick him to win, I think he should win. I think he does win decisively. I don't think it comes down to another like close decision. He's either going to make some adjustments that make him win decisively, or he's going to lose. That's I think that's what it comes down to. Like he either makes some adjustments, fight it from the first fight with Strickland, and he wins decisively, or there are no adjustments, and Sean Strickland is able to walk him down, and Sean Strickland wins. That's kind of the way I see it. It's not kind of true. It is the truth. Are you still going to slam DDP in his next fight versus Hamzat? Yes. If DDP beats Strickland on Saturday, I will slam DDP versus Hamzat. 100%. 100%. And if it's in the U.S., I will go. And I've already said this to DDP's manager. But if DDP beats Strickland and they make DDP versus Hamzat, I'm slamming DDP at underdog odds. I'm slamming DDP at underdog odds. He's beating Hamzat, and then I'm going to South African kiss him. I'm going to meet up with him. I'm going to find him, and I'm a South African kiss him on the lips. Book it. Coming up in the time of mayhem, Miller, as he doesn't make it past Young Hendo's H-bomb. If you need a two-leg to add to DDP moneyline, you can do Saquon 80 rushing yards / anytime TD. Let me tell you this, Elite Division Sports. Before the NFL playoffs started, I was looking at the Super Bowl MVP props, and I played Saquon Barkley to win Super Bowl MVP at plus 2,000. So if they win, I got to assume Saquon probably going to go off. Saquon's winning that MVP if the Eagles win. Now, the thing is, they got to win the game against the Chiefs, which is pretty hard to do. The voodoo magic is going to be in full force on Sunday. So my plan is probably to bet the Chiefs money line as like some sort of a hedge on my Saquon Barkley MVP ticket, Super Bowl MVP ticket. So that's my plan for the Super Bowl. Hyun-Sung Park, a lock. He's impressed me. I don't think he's impressive at all, to be honest. I would not call him a lock. That underdogs hack I tried with the flex play didn't end up working out in my favor. Bro, I tried that after you gave that to me. And yeah, it's just they just adjusted. So unfortunately, the hack is not a hack. So don't do that. How high is the ceiling on Imavov at 28 years old? He's got huge potential, in my opinion. I think he could give DDP his toughest fight, to be honest, because his striking is so nice, and I think he can wrestle defensively against DDP. Like he's not going to get his back taken and choked out against DDP. And in the striking department, he is so sharp, so fast. I think that's the toughest fight for DDP, if I'm honest. Who would you have in Imavov versus Bahalio? Dude, if Bahalio didn't have such a big head, if his head wasn't so big and his striking style wasn't so risk of adverse, then I would probably lean Imavov. But Bahalio's striking, he just doesn't take a lot of risks. He's pretty sharp with his striking as well. His head is massive. Like, I don't think you're knocking that dude out. And his grappling is really solid. So I think that's a great fight. I actually love that fight. I wish they would make it. Maybe they do make it. I think that would be an amazing fight and one that would be very competitive. But I would probably go. I might go with Bahalio, bro. I might go with Bahalio. Fuck, dude. I don't know. That is such a good fight, though. Very competitive. Slime Gene Silva by KO on the Seattle card. Maybe by sub, dude. Because I think he's fighting Bagdasaryan. Bagdasaryan's a kickboxer, not the best grappler. We'll see. UFC talent right now at the top 5 of all divisions are old-ass men from 2 generations ago who just held on to the sport longer than the actual good talent now. They have good runs without bullies. Jammin's really coming with the heat today. Freezer locks are coming. I'm about it, bro. Keep them coming. You saw the Pantoja versus Kai Kara France co-main on 313 rumors. I think it's pretty done deal. I know Dana might not have come out and said it. Maybe he has. I don't know. But I think it's a done deal. Pantoja versus Kai Kara France. Pantoja's in the gym, putting the work in. Pantoja, another title defense, baby. Let's go. Still don't think Rainer de Ritter. Another one? No, I don't. I don't think Rainer de Ritter will be double champ. What's up, man? What'd you think of MVP versus Shara? I think MVP showed there's levels to it, bro. I was saying it. I think Shara's UFC competition has just been such layups, man. Like such layups, I don't want to say easy matchups for him, but like favorable matchups for him. And I don't really see this one as a favorable matchup. So that's what I thought. The actual fight I was enjoying it because MVP was doing well and I bet on MVP. But the actual fight, if you're just watching that as a regular fan, you're probably like, this is not that fun. Like MVP is supposed to be entertaining. It's like, unless MVP gets a big knockout, he's not really like the most entertaining striker on the planet. So Izzy isn't washed. He just established that he was never God. Damn it. Hey, consistency. Please, hey. Okay. Poatan stones a Daggy Dome plus money. Shama. Let's do it. I don't think Ankalaev is Dagestani, though. I think he's just Russian. I could be wrong, but I don't think he is. Hot take, Kai Kara France beats Pantoja. Kai Kara France dealt with Askarov's grappling very well, and Askarov out-grappled Pantoja pretty easily. Kai Kara France would dominate on the feet. I remember the Askarov Kai Kara France fight because I was there. It was actually my first UFC fight that I ever went to, or first UFC event I ever went to. And I bet on Kai Kara France at like plus 300. And he deals with the grappling pretty well. The thing is, Askarov gas tank is not the best. His pure grappling is pretty good. It's more wrestling based. Pantoja is wrestle, jiu-jitsu, stand-up's better, durability is better. So, I could see why it would be a competitive fight. I just think Pantoja is going to win. Bro, that's hitting. Quan is going to be the MVP, 200-plus yards, 2 touchdowns. I hope so, brother. I hope so. Thoughts on the Urseg versus Moreno matchup? I honestly reckon it's a better matchup for Urseg than the original Asuama Baya fight. Urseg needs a win, bro. He can't go down 3 losses in a row after giving Pantoja his toughest fight while he was champion, or at least in the last 5 years. Urseg needs a dub, bro. I think it's a great fight. And Moreno looked really sharp his last fight, but I expect Urseg to give him a lot more to worry about than Albazi did. Albazi literally did nothing. So I think it's a good fight. I think Urseg will probably be the underdog and might be getting my money. We'll see. No, don't bet Chiefs money line for a hedge. Dude, I got to. I'm not losing money on the Chiefs ever again, dude. I'm just not doing it. DDP by sub. It depends on the line, dude. Depends on the line. You don't like Park finish both of his UFC fights? Brother. He's had one true UFC fight. It was against Shannon Ross. Shannon Ross is buns with no chin. Don't take that into account. Imabov or whatever is only his toughest matchup because his fouls. He sucks otherwise. Hey, come on, man. No Bickle is his true hardest matchup. The fact you don't see that he is the true dark horse is sad. I don't want to hear anything about Bo Nickel, bro. I don't want to hear anything about Bo Nickel being the toughest test for anybody right now, okay? The guy just went to a 30-27 with Paul Craig. If Bo Nickel is the toughest test for anybody in the top 10 of the middleweight division, then I know nothing. Because what I watched against him over Paul Craig was the guy was not willing to shoot on Paul Craig for the reasons of scared of getting subbed, most likely. And his striking really wasn't good at all. It wasn't that good. I mean, I could probably go out there and outstrike Paul Craig. Let's just be real here. Okay. Paul Craig ain't done nothing in the striking department ever in his professional MMA career to go win. And there weren't even like decisive wins in the rounds. Like he was still getting hit with shots from Paul Craig. So, yeah, Bo Nickel's got a long way to go before he's the true hardest matchup for anybody in the middleweight division. Slam Asu Amabayev to beat Nascimento. Is he fighting Nascimento? Alan Nascimento? Interesting. I'm not a DeRitter hater, brother. I cashed on him against Kevin Holland. Who'd you have in a Tatsuro Taira versus Kaya Sakura fight? Japan Fight Night main event? That would be sick. I'd probably go Asakura, but actually maybe not. Taira's back takes are so nice. That's tough. That's real tough. But Asakura is tough to get a hold of. That's a good matchup. I think they should probably make it, honestly. Been waiting for Fizie's comeback for so long. I reckon book the rematch versus Gamrot. I believe that's what they're trying to do. I believe that is. Look like Crosby? Crosby who? Vinicius Oliveira, future champ? Probably not future champ, but he could get up there. He could definitely get up there. It's pretty clear it's either Charles or DP fighting Max for the BMF. Who would you have in both matchups? I don't think it's going to be DP. I don't think that is the move. If it's Charles versus Max Holloway, that's tough. I would maybe say, I'd probably go Charles. Probably Charles. JDM next champ. He better be. Cash my ticket, bro. Should Char move to welterweight? That's kind of what I was thinking, dude. Like, Char's not the biggest 185er. I feel like he could move down to welterweight. But then you got to deal with a bunch of wrestlers. So maybe not. Maybe not. Maybe that's not the move. I don't know. Charles just got to work on his wrestling game. He's a good striker, but like the dude's getting matchups where he doesn't have to really deal with it that often. So tell these people who the pound for pound number one fighter in the world is. Islam Makhachev. Connor, look at the UFC website. Ask Dana White. Dana White has now said Islam Makhachev is the pound for pound number one. Is that negotiating tactics? Probably. But he said it. Who's your early lean for Leon versus JDM? I got JDM, brother. JDM's getting it done. Leon's washed. What did you think about Bryce Mitchell, his comments? Let's just say Bryce Mitchell getting canceled on the first episode of his podcast is pretty nuts, but I didn't really expect anything else. I mean, if you put Bryce Mitchell on a mic in his own location, like he's been on podcasts before, but it's kind of different going else on somebody else's podcast. You're probably going to hold back like a little bit. But if you put him on his own podcast in his garage or wherever he was, dude's probably going to say some wild stuff. So it's not like I didn't see it coming, but yeah, I mean, you put a mic in front of Bryce Mitchell, he's going to say whatever he wants. RDR double champ. Dude isn't even in contention in one division yet. Holland is game, but he's in a top contender. Pump the brakes. Yeah. Pump the brakes a little bit on RDR, all right? Strickland should have won the first fight. Here we go. Classic. Really hope they book the Nightmare Pratis versus Jeff Neal. Link at the cash counter. Dude, I would love that matchup. I think that's a good matchup. Why didn't Paul take him down? Why didn't Paul try what he tried with Johnny? Because you're probably not going to take down a wrestler like that. Let's just say that. I mean, you're not going to take down Bo Nickel. So that's probably why. Let's get Bo Nickel versus Shara Bullet for sure. One-sided fight either way. Let's see whose weakness gets exposed. Bo Nickel would definitely win that one. He would take down Shara. 100%. Dude, I don't like people have this hard on. Some people have this hard on for Bo Nickel. I just don't understand it. Like the dude is so young in his MMA career. Like, why are you even throwing him in the contention of saying he would beat these guys in the top 10? Like, it's not going to happen, bro. It's not going to happen. So, number one, if it would happen, then they would make the matchup. They don't make the matchup for a reason because they know he's young in his MMA career. He just went to a decision with Paul Craig, a very boring decision at that. They keep putting him on these pay-per-view cards to build up his name to where he gets wins. People recognize him. They're going to give him low-level competition so that he wins. And people are like, oh, Bo Nickel, collegiate, all-American wrestler, amazing wrestler, got all these accolades, Bo Nickel. But like if he was actually able to go out there and beat a guy like a Sean Strickland, then why wouldn't they have made the matchup yet? Because the UFC knows he ain't ready, okay? So don't go out here and say Bo Nickel is going to go out and beat DDP. Bo Nickel ain't the toughest test for a lot of these guys in the top 10, all right? So pump the brakes. Bo Nickel will be good, but right now he just needs to pick up wins. He needs to get cage time. He needs to get some experience in the octagon, fighting competition that is more on his level. Okay, just chill out. The guy's young enough. He'll get the chance, but he's not there yet. I think Shara is too small for middleweight. I think he would do better at welterweight. Probably. The best betting opportunities are against somebody who is glazed. I feel like Shara was only a favorite because of glaze. You're not wrong there, Cal. I mean, if a guy's getting glazed, you probably want to fade him. Can't wait to see Jubilee get smoked this weekend. Fuck that guy. Fuck Anshel Jubilee, all right? That dude, I rewatched the fight he had with Mike Breeden today, and it was just laughable, okay? Because Jubilee actually did really good in the first 2 rounds, and then Mike Breeden started barking, and Jubilee about shit his pants in the octagon, okay? Mike Breeden's literally barking at him and, like, landing a couple shots, and Jubilee's like, fuck, dude, I am not built for this. And ultimately gets KO'd. And it's like, all right, India, you thought you had one. Not anymore. And the UFC didn't even re-sign Mike Breeden. Mike Breeden's like a 1-4 UFC fighter. Maybe like 2-3. Mike Breeden ain't that good. And Mike Breeden outdogged Anshel Jubilee and knocked him out. So, yeah, fuck Anshel Jubilee. You're putting blinders on to what you're watching, hey. No, I ain't, brother. Who wins, the fake GOAT, John Duck Jones, or the real GOAT, Shamil the Blob Gaziev? Dude, Shamil would put that right hand he landed on Thomas Peterson right on John Jones's chin, and John would go down, bro. I think that's the fight to make, dude. Shamil Gaziev versus John Jones. Makes sense. Gaziev versus Moicano rematch. No. We're not doing that. Okay, I know Moicano don't want that. Not going to happen. No Bick as a champ 26. See the line on that. I don't think it's out yet. Who's your early lean for Gaethje versus Hooker? Early lean is Hooker, but only because he's the underdog. Who'd you have in Tom versus John? I would take Tom. Tatiana Suarez by submission, easy. Too big and strong for Wei Lee. Now we're talking, all right? Now we're talking. Can't wait to see that line. I'll definitely be looking at that. Izzy goes to light heavyweight. If he went to light heavyweight, he would get ragdolled. I have a 3-leg lay with Naimov, MVP, and Gian Silva. You think John Silva got his next one? That's in what, like 2 weeks, 3 weeks? I think he probably wins, yeah. I think you're solid. Put a poll up in chat. I ain't doing that, bro. I ain't doing that. 312 was absolutely terrible outside of the title fights, and I'm a diehard who appreciates every prelim in the Apex. It is pretty bad, but it's better than nothing. Let's just say that. Who would I like to see added to the 314 main card and a prelim? It's pretty broad, bro. Let me just think. At least let me look at the rankings. Maybe we can brainstorm. 314 main card. To be honest, should we just build the main card for UFC 314? You make Ilia Topuria, Islam Makhachev main event, co-main event. Charles Oliveira, Max Holloway for the BMF belt. Featured bout. Jelton Almeida, Cyril Gane. Why? Just for the fuck of it. We're not adding any women's MMA. Fourth fight on the card, Sean O'Malley, Corey Sandhagen. And as a replacement, actually not as a replacement, fifth fight on the card to open up the main card, you go Bryce Mitchell versus Natan Levy. That would sell some tickets. Boom. Make it happen. Best MMA podcast currently? Show me the money, brother. 100%. 100%, brother. 100%. Who would you have in Ian Gary versus Sean Brady? I would probably take Ian Gary. But if Sean Brady was like a plus 150 or higher, I would bet on Sean Brady. Where does Hamzat play into this after this weekend? He'll get the next title shot, 100%. Will Islam ever lose again? If he faces Topuria, yes. Or if he faces Renato Moicano on a full camp. They are past their prime and nearing 40 years old, and the reason is Bo wants to have time to work up. True. Who do you think has the best chance to beat DDP? I think it's Imavov if he worked on his gas tank. 100% agree. I don't know if you were in the chat before, but that's what I said. I think Imavov is the toughest test for DDP right now. MMA rematches are always opposite of the first match. Lock DDP in for a finish. I wouldn't say they're always, but they do play out differently. Like, you look at a lot of rematches in the UFC, they're almost never like the first fight. Something always changes up. One person tries to change things up, whether it's wrestle more, be more aggressive, be less aggressive, whatever it is. They are pretty different. The only one that I think is a little bit more of a similar fight when I think back on it is Leon Edwards versus Kamaru Usman. I'm talking about the second and the third fight, the two title fights. Like, the first fight went more Usman's way, but like they both kind of did the same thing in the second fight. It's just Leon had more energy because it wasn't at elevation. His takedown defense was a little bit better, and they both kind of fought the same. Maybe Usman fought a little bit less aggressive because he was a little scared of that getting head kicked again. But that was probably the only fight that kind of played out similarly. Obviously without the big knockout, but yeah, they are a lot different. People need to understand, for Bo, this is MMA, not pure wrestling. It's a completely different game. Yeah, 100%, dude. I truly believe after Tom slumps Bones in the first round, he'll never, ever lose. Goes down to the greatest heavyweight of all time. I think skill set wise, he's the greatest heavyweight of all time. Never seen a guy move that fluidly, hit that hard, have good wrestling, good submission game. I think he's the real deal, bro. Nickel didn't get subbed by the GOAT of no-gi sub grappling yet. He isn't ready for top 10, besides the guy who subbed Jama and Anklehead, who is a dangerous sub threat. I don't know what you're talking about, bro. Let's just look at middleweights. Dude, if Bo Nickel fought Jack Hermanson, I think Hermanson could give him a tough test. Like, come on. If Bo Nickel fought Anthony Hernandez could give him a tough test. Like, Bo Nickel ain't ready for that. He's not ready for a Jack Hermanson or a Hernandez. Beating Paul Craig 30-27 based in a striking match doesn't really warrant that. Jubilee versus Guru prediction. Guru by insults. Jubilee would not be keen to that, dude. He would be like, what is going on? What is going on here, sir? And he would dip. Hot take. Shamil hits harder than Jones. That's not a hot take, bro. Shamil flatlined Thomas Peterson. Jones ain't never done that. Who do you think has the best chance against Tom Aspinall? I would probably say it's Cyril Gane, to be honest. Because Gane, maybe not. Maybe if Aspinall wrestled him, maybe he could make slight work for him. But stylistically, like Cyril Gane's ability to strike from the outside was probably the toughest. So that's who I would say. Outside of John Jones, obviously. I would say John Jones has the best chance to beat Aspinall, but Cyril Gane after him. Does Dricus finish Sean this time? I hope so. I think he definitely could. They got to give Izzy Chimaev and put him out of his misery. Dang. Please no. Moicano versus Ortega 2 is a fight I'd like to see, with Ortega making the jump to a lightweight. Moicano had him until he shot for that takedown and got guillotined. There's a matchup we can make. There's a matchup, Mario. You got to comment that on the Show Me the Money and see what he says. Mini Tom Aspinall. Shout out to that guy. I hope he joins the stream one time. We'll see. Do you think Strickland gets the victory over Duplessis? I don't think so, but I wouldn't rule it out. Tom never lose again. Already has 3 L's. 2 of those L's are bozos. Like, just complete bogus. Injury versus Blades and a DQ. Came all late. Think DDP wrestles more this time? I hope he does, honestly. I think Chimaev can beat him too if he gets him out of there in the first 2. Yeah, I think he could. Chimaev can finish anybody in the first round or 2. Izzy versus Whitaker. It'd be Izzy versus Whitaker 3. Please, no. They aren't going to fight each other. MVP said he would go up and fight Yuri. He's got to be joking, right? I feel like he would just get manhandled on the ground and rocked if he gets hit. Yeah, I think Yuri would fucking demolish him. I'm not going to lie. Yuri would just walk through that shit. Yuri's too retarded to like try to figure out MVP. He would just go full bore, like walking forward, probably throw like some jumping knee and land some spinning shit. Like, he's just, MVP's got to mind fuck these guys. You can't mind fuck Yuri Prohashka. He's too retarded. Okay, he's too autistic in the head to be mind fucked by the movement you're doing. He ain't gonna give a shit. He's just gonna walk forward and swing bombs, and he probably would murder MVP. Who would you have in Sugar versus Yan 2? To be honest, if it was 5 rounds, I would take Yan. If it was 3 rounds, I would still take Sean O'Malley. Big difference there. Thoughts on Brendan Allen being such a big underdog against Fluffy? Is that matchup made? Brendan Allen's already fighting? When is that fight? Holy shit, it is. February 22nd. Holy shit, that's in Seattle. Oh my God. That probably has a lot to do with how bad Brendan Allen looked in his last fight. But Fluffy is just tough, man. He is a tough motherfucker. Like, it's gonna be tough to get that guy out of there. I still can't wrap my head around how Fluffy Hernandez lost to Kevin Holland. And look where their careers have gone, you know? Who's your favorite dark horse prospect? Dark horse prospect. You got to give me like a weight class or something, bro. It's just too broad. Just look at the rankings. Oh, dark horse prospect. Shamil Gaziev. No. Too broad of a question, bro. I'm sorry. If Bo even fought Joe Pyfer, he'd get slept. Pyfer would possibly sleep him. But I don't know. RoboCop slumps Cannoneer 6 foot under. I hope so. I hope RoboCop takes the dub. Who would you have in Shamil versus Spivak? I mean, Shamil's ready for that title, bro. I think I got to take Shamil. Fluffy beat Allen in LFA. That's why. I don't think that's why, to be honest, but maybe it has something to do with it. What's next for Izzy? Retirement, brother. Double knee sleeves. Fuck the double knee sleeves, dude. Never want to see those again. How come Jack didn't get slept? He lost a striking match to Strickland. What? Who would you take if Tom fought Jailton? I would definitely take Tom. 100%. You wouldn't want to see Ilya versus Yair? Ilya would maul the fuck out of Yair. Yair can't wrestle. Ilya, unless he got caught with some like fucking flying knee or head kick and KO'd, like I'm talking like KO'd on the kick, like not TKO'd, like flat out cold, Ilya would fucking maul him. Like take him down and do dirty stuff to him. I meant Izzy versus Whitaker 2 for the rematch. Oh, opposite shit you were talking. Yeah. Who would you have in Josh Emmett versus Arnold Allen? I would take Arnold Allen. I would definitely take Arnold Allen. Thoughts on Lerone Murphy? I think he's underrated. Lerone is underrated. Very good all-around fighter. Definitely. I hope he gets a good fight coming up soon. Because he's what? Ranked 11. I hope he gets a top 10 guy. Very good fighter. I'm sure most people don't care, but how come none of the top 20 women's featherweights on Tapology have a fight booked? You're accurate there, Paul. I don't think anybody cares. I don't know. Maybe they're just getting rid of the division. But they could stay on the sidelines. It's cool. How much success does Islam have against the top 10 welterweights if he makes the jump? Probably a lot of success. A lot of success. Because I think he could fill into welterweight pretty well. Let's just look at the top 10. I mean, he could beat Jeff Neal. He could beat Colby. Could probably beat Gilbert. Could beat Ian Gary. Could beat Buckley, although Buckley's a dark horse, man. I think he could beat Sean Brady. Could beat Jack Della. Could beat Kamaru. He could beat any of these guys in the top 10. Who would you have in MVP versus Usman? At this point, even though I'm not a Usman believer and I think he's unbelievably cooked, I would probably take Usman because Usman could take him down. I think MVP versus Izzy would be a good fight, but there are friends under and Izzy might be going to the GFL. Yeah, I mean, that would just never happen. I guess that makes sense. It's LFA though, bro. Do you think Song Yadong rips the bong versus Cejudo? Yes and no. I mean, Cejudo's always got a little something up his sleeve, but he is old as shit and small as shit. So I'll take Song. Lerone is somewhat overrated. He almost got finished in the first round against Ige. Almost getting finished means nothing. in this game. I think MVP versus Izzy would be a good fight if they weren't friends. Yeah. Fuck that blob. He cooked the underdog play. Dude, if Shamil Gaziev went higher on significant strikes, I would have made another $5,000 yesterday. He was the only one. The only one that didn't hit. It's brutal. But we still made a lot of coin on the underdog and better picks plays. If you tailed, you know. I don't even like Izzy, but his reaction after the finish was satisfying. Yeah, I mean, I think he kind of just realized, he's like, all right, fuck, dude, like, just don't got it anymore. Just don't got it. Should Islam get tested with a top 5 light heavyweight before fighting Drickus? What are we talking about, bro? Yeah, let him go fight a top 5 light heavyweight to test himself before fighting Drickus. Jubilee or Quillen? Definitely not Jubilee. Okay? Definitely not Anshel Jubilee. Sorry, sir. Who do you think has the best chance for Zilia? I think it's Movzar by far. I would agree. 100%. Movzar. Lerone Murphy called out Josh Emmett. I would like that. If Drickus can get a finish, what side do you lean more, sub or KO? I want to say KO, but like I think the club and sub could be there too. So, actually, no, I think it would probably have to be a sub. I think it'd have to be a club and sub, because you got to knock Strickland out clean, like you got to knock him out clean, or he's not gonna quit. Like you're not gonna TKO him. Like you got to rock him hard. It's tough to hit him clean. So it'd have to be like a flash knockdown, jump on the back type of thing. So I guess probably sub. Joshua Van, best dark horse prospect, in my opinion. If only he didn't lose to Charles Johnson, bro. He would be up there in the rankings right now. Who's your early lean for Bilal versus Shavkat? I got Bilal, brother. Islam is my guy, that Buckley. But Buckley would chin him. Wow. Buckley would chin Islam. I'm not saying it wouldn't happen, but it's kind of a bold take. Who wins between Izzy and Bo Nickel if they run it tomorrow? Now we're talking the it factor. Now we're talking, all right? Because Izzy is washed beyond bits. But Bo Nickel, that's a big step up. I think maybe Bo would take a few of those body kicks and want to rethink his career choices. All right. But I don't know. I think maybe Bo could just take him down. Izzy's initial takedown defense is really good, though. It's just when he's on the ground, his grappling is not very good. But his initial takedown defense is solid. I think if Bo shoots in the first round and doesn't get it and he's like, oh, fuck, then it wouldn't go well. But maybe Bo Nickel could fucking knock him out at this point. Who knows? Who's the underdog for Strickland versus DDP? Strickland is the underdog, bro. Jack Jenkins is also a big underdog against Gabriel Santos this week, but Santos really ain't all that. I don't think he is all that, but he does have a pretty high wrestling grappling upside in this one. So that's probably why he's the favorite, but I agree. I don't think he's all that. I think Jack Jenkins is probably live. I know Cruz is ancient and Font looked good his last fight against the Matrix, but should Font really be a minus 200 favorite? Little crazy to me. Yeah, I don't know, boys. That's a tough one. Couple of old men. And betting Font at chalk is never a good thing. Buck Lips isn't good. Beating wash fighters late into the fight isn't impressive. Unless it's Patty versus Fergie. Lock in Bucks. Okay, we're giving out NBA bets right now. I don't give a fuck about the NBA. I'm sorry. Justin Tafa title run. Not if he faces Shamil, bro. The blob would put him in the dust. Biggest dark horse at the moment. No one can out grapple him. It's probably true, but they could definitely outstrike him. Did you watch boxing last night? The Isaac Cruz fight had to be the best boxing fight I've seen. Did not watch boxing. Boxing is bunzo lately. Holland versus Gunnar Nelson. Who wins? Gunnar Nelson by sub. Get him down to the ground. Holland wants to tap. Tatiana Suarez moneyline and Dricus sub. 500 pays close to 6K. Damn. What's the odds on Dricus sub? That's got to be pretty high. How would Roy Nelson versus Shamil Gaziev go? Not because they're both fat as shit. Shamil the Blob. Round 1 KO. Who's the fattest UFC fighter of all time? I would say it's Roy Nelson. He's definitely up there. That beer gut was just insane. Chris Barnett is definitely up there, though. That's a good one, Shamar. Chris Barnett is like 5'9" and like morbidly obese. Chris Barnett literally can't jump up in the air without tearing something in his leg. So, yeah, I think Chris Barnett probably takes the cake. He will probably, I don't want to say it. That's probably really bad. Barnett's fat as shit. Has no reason to be a heavyweight. Do I also bet on football? Not right now because there's not a lot of football, but college football, yes. NFL, yes, but it's more for entertainment. Do you think the rumors are true of Ilya versus Islam happening and Diego versus Volk interim title? That would be sick. Now we're talking. I would definitely be cool with that. But in all honesty, I don't see it. I don't see it happening. I think people are overvaluing DDP. I feel like he comes in confident and grapples heavy, then tires, and I could see Strickland taking over late. Possibly. Very possible. De Ritter versus Bo would go down the same way as the Craig fight, in my opinion. I could see that. Yeah, I could see that. Dricus sub plus 500, Dricus KO plus 400. Ugh, I don't think it's that great, to be honest. You think Tafa knocks out Teixeira next weekend? Never been a believer in the Tafas, bro. Tafa gang is trash. Let's just say that. Say how it is. Not with the Tafa gang. De Ritter would dominate Bo Nickel in every field? Probably not, dude. Unless they found themselves on the ground. I guess maybe if Bo did shoot on Rainer De Ritter and De Ritter like swept him and they get into those grappling exchanges, maybe De Ritter could win, but I kind of agree with Jam in here. Nickel would probably just outstrike him on the feet. Roy Nelson beat Kimbo with his stomach. That is true. But he didn't blow his knee out from jumping. So it's different. Sean O'Malley ever get a belt again? I think he has more interesting fights if he moves up in weight. I kind of don't think he does. I kind of don't think he wins a belt again. Unless he's around for a while. But you got to figure, like, Sean's fight style is so dependent on being fast, being powerful. And the power isn't really going to go, but, like, the quickness is eventually going to go once he hits, like, 33, 34, 35. So he's got, like, 3 or 4 more years to get it back. And I don't know that the competition is going to be getting worse, you know? Don't hold the jump against Barnett. Brian Ortega almost did the same thing. Yeah, but he like landed on it wrong. Like Barnett landed clean, but his knee just busted. I do not bet on soccer, bro. Definitely not. How long until Jean Silva breaks into the top 10? Do you like him better at 145 or 55? 145 for sure. For sure. I'll give him like three or 4 more fights before he breaks into the top 10. Who wins between Sean O'Malley versus Sandhagen? I think Sandhagen would probably try to wrestle him. O'Malley would win the striking, but I think Sandhagen would probably try to wrestle him. So I'd probably go Sandhagen. But Sandhagen is overrated as fuck, in my opinion. The guy just goes out there and he's like trying to do all this technical shit. Like, bro, it's a fight. Okay. And it works on some guys. Like, it'll work on Cheeto Vera because Cheeto Vera ain't going to do shit for the first 20 minutes of the fight. But against Sean O'Malley, like, the technical shit with the striking ain't going to work. Like, he's going to dance all over you. But I think Sandhagen's wrestling is probably, it's improved a lot. And I think he would probably go out there and try to wrestle him. So, fuck. Interesting one, though. I kind of want to see it. Do you think Kopp will outstrike Roy Vol? His speed is something else. I do think he outstrikes Roy Vol. Yeah. Chris Barnett fighting at heavyweight is just a freak show. 100%. Liking Tom Nolan money line. I don't know, dude. Like, I don't like either side, to be honest. Both guys are just untrustworthy. Look at Cody Garbrandt's career. If you want a crystal ball, what happens to O'Malley? Wow. Jan exposed the shit out of Corey. I don't think he really exposed him. Like, Corey's just, he's an interesting character, bro. Trying to do all this fucking science shit. Dude, it's a fight, bro. Did I see Kenny Okoye crying on stream after Izzy lost? Did he actually cry? Is that a real thing? Chat, please tell me. Did he actually cry, like real tears? If he did, that's pretty bad. I actually kind of enjoy, this is probably going to sound terrible, but when like legends lose, sometimes I enjoy watching like the old heads of the game, like when DDP beat Strickland, or no, when DDP beat Adesanya, and Joe Rogan's like watch party was like, oh shit, how did that happen? Oh fuck. Oh, he's done. Like, I enjoyed that shit because like Brendan Schaub was so confident Izzy was gonna just dance on him and knock him out. And Joe Rogan's like always glazing the fuck out of Izzy. I enjoyed watching that reaction of them being like eating their words. I enjoyed that. And I also enjoyed watching Demetrius Johnson's reaction to Izzy getting knocked out by Imavov, because Mighty Mouse, I like Mighty Mouse, but Mighty Mouse is like one of those old heads that's like, you know, connected with all these fighters now. He does all these podcasts and stuff, and he films his reactions into, it's great content. It's good stuff. But like, just, you know, he obviously wants Izzy to win. And then just to see him get fucking knocked out, and he's like, oh, he's kind of losing it. He's like, fuck. I love that. All right. I love that sometimes. It's going to sound terrible, but I genuinely do. I genuinely enjoy watching the old heads see like their buddies or their guys that they glaze all the time lose, where they're like, oh my God, how did that happen? It's like, dude, they're going to be done eventually. They're going to be done, you know? Eventually somebody's going to beat them. Sounds terrible, but I actually enjoy it. I didn't see that him actually crying though. That's pretty nuts. If he actually shed a real tear, that's brutal. Only because Tom Nolan is an underdog value. Yeah, I could see it. Who is the most overrated top 10 ranked guy? I would say Rakic. I would kind of agree with you. Actually, no, the most overrated top 10 guys, Colby Covington, 100%. When you watch tape, do you just use Fight Pass replays? What about fights on the local scene / other promotions? Fight it on YouTube. Most regional promotions have their fights on YouTube. UFC Fight Pass, ESPN Plus, all that. I cashed on Farazzian money line. So did I. Good bet. Make the Chris Barnett versus David Adesanya fight. It's funny. I don't dislike Izzy as like a person, because there are some things that throw me off about him. Okay, he's like he's always trying to be like the main character. Like he's got like main character syndrome where he's trying to like make everything a movie, which is like, bro, you're a fighter, which is cool, but like you're not some anime character in a movie. You're a fighter. And he like tries to make all these sayings, like these speeches. And don't get me wrong, some of the speeches are good. I was there at UFC 287 when he knocked out Pereira, and that was a great moment. Yes, I had a bet on Izzy in that fight, so I was happy. But also the speech after was cool. But sometimes he rubs me the wrong way. More though of the like dislike comes from so many people that glaze him. Like I've never really been a huge believer in him as like this untouchable figure. Like he's a good kickboxer, but his matchups just haven't been bad for him. Like he's had good matchups. Fighting fucking Marvin Vettori and Jared Cannonier and Robert Whittaker. You know? Finally fights a guy that's bigger than him in Alex Pereira and is a good kickboxer like him. Gets fucking knocked out. And then he beats Pereira. And then he gets dog walked by Strickland. And then he gets submitted by DDP. And then he gets knocked out by Imavov. So like eventually it just came around where I was like, you know, my non-belief in the guy finally came around. And it's kind of good to see it sometimes because the glaze gets out of hand. You'll explain your case on your long-term heavyweight champ bet. It's not a real bet, bro. It's a screenshot. I didn't put 5K on Shamil Blob. Okay. Love that talk, man. Crazy how Rogan is on the call compared to how much he dumbs himself down during those watch parties with Schaub, Joey Diaz, and Callan. Dude, honestly, Rogan's getting a little bad on the mic, dude. Like he's such an old head now. Like it's the same shit every time. Like I used to think Rogan was like cool on the mic. Not anymore. Like it's not good. And I get like he deserves to be there because he was a big part of like the UFC when it first started. But nowadays, like his commentary is just outdated. It's just so outdated. I would much rather have Paul Felder there or have Dominic Cruz there that are actually going to analyze the fights, that have actually done their homework on these fighters and not just pointed out a calf kick or talk about fucking steel cups. You know, like Rogan's pretty bad now. And it's going to have to change eventually. Like eventually they're going to have to be like, all right, Rogan, it might be time, man. It might be time. You know, we're going to have to let you go. But we'll see how long. We'll see how long that is. I've been watching Izzy lose since Alex signed. That's great. 21-0, brother. Never lost. Yeah, I mean, if he fought long enough, he would have lost. How would Kopp versus Moreno play out? I think Kopp would win, honestly. Yes, he was talking about Gaziev. Yeah. I enjoyed Justin's family getting emotional when he got KO'd at 300. I drove to Utah to watch Dustin versus Justin. 8-hour drive just to see my boy KO'd. That's hilarious. He's salty about Justin head kicking Dustin, and then you watched him get KO'd at 300, and we're loving his family's reaction. That's crazy. If Colby is the most overrated and Buckslips is the dangerous KO or artist, how come he wasn't flatlined like the 40-year-old Wonder Bread? Because Colby fights in a way where he's not going to let himself get like brutally knocked out. Ever since Tom Aspinall KO Sergey, dude been gun shy, turned into technical boxer. He doesn't go for it anymore. I swear, it like 2 minutes in the round where he didn't throw it all. Yeah, that fight was shit, dude. That fight was shit. The dog stuff too. Yeah, that was really fucking weird. Izzy was good, but wasn't close to Anderson Silva reflexes and timing. I can agree. And he doesn't have the ground game to back it up either. Who wins in stomach bumping battle? Roy Nelson or Chris Barnett? Definitely Roy Nelson. That beer belly is the gold standard for beer bellies. I believe Alex sold Izzy that fight in Miami. The punch was way too similar to the first fight. They call me crazy. Yeah. When you look back on it and you see what Pereira's done since then, and then you look and see what Izzy's done since then, you're like, fuck, dude, that shit was a fluke. A fat old fluke. And I can see why, bro. Like, Jesus. Joe Rogan can be watching a brawl of a fight, but would still be yapping about some calf kicks. Yeah. I mean, that's true. Like, Rogan could be watching some grappling and be like, holy shit, dude, that guy's calf is fucked. Look at the swelling on that guy's calf. It's like, come on. JA carries the broadcast team. He really does, dude. John Anik literally has to deal with Joe Rogan and Daniel Cormier for like 8 hours on a pay-per-view. Like, John Anik got the fucking team on his back, okay? Joe Rogan ain't doing anything but talking about calf kicks and fucking steel cups. And Daniel Cormier is munching on some food and trying to make jokes with Joe Rogan. John Anik's got to fucking put the team on his back. He's got to talk about the fights. He's doing his fucking homework. Knows every little thing about these fighters. Got it on the fucking card. And he's got to reel them in. John Anik's doing the fucking carrying everything here. UFC 315 is rumored for Montreal. Any potential fights? And would you go? Definitely not. Definitely would not go to Montreal, Canada. I'm sorry. Haven't heard anything. Didn't know anything about Montreal. So sorry about that. Cruz, he's trying to get Khabib tired. What? We got to keep Rogan and Laura Sanko off commentary. She's always making noises when shots don't even land. Beetlejuice? Dude, what happened to Beetlejuice? Biggie Boy has no grappling. John Anik goes into the dark web to do some research on the fighters. He really does. He knows everything, bro. DC stays talking about unrelated shit during fights. 100%. Will Hamzat be a champion by the end of the year? No. Let's be real. Commentary doesn't need to be there past 2010 and only makes UFC worse. Yeah, I mean, it's not very good, to be honest. It's not like... Obviously, you need like a play-by-play and you need like some insight. But like if you watch UFC, like you can watch it without the commentary. But I like the commentary because I like to hear what's happening with like the refs, the corner. If the corner said something, like, there's insight there. Jimmy Crute come back? Fuck no. Guy's coming in for a paycheck. That's what he said in Khabib versus Conor. Oh, the Habib is trying to get Habib tired. Hamzat versus Imavov interim belt. I would love that. Both these fighters have battled with pubic lice. What events you thinking of attending this year? Miami, UFC 314, I'll be there. And after that, I don't know. After that, I'm not sure. Imavov versus RDR for title eliminator after the Hamzat fight. All right, we're talking about Nasruddin Imavov versus Rainier de Ridder as a title eliminator. I think it's time to call it. All right, boys. We're going to end it there. I already put up my early picks for UFC 312. Check that video out here on the YouTube channel. I'll have the official picks video uploaded by Wednesday night. Thursday night, I'll have the best bets video uploaded for you. And Friday, we got the live call-in show with Matty Betts. It should be a great time. We got a pay-per-view card. It's not the best, but it's a pay-per-view card. So appreciate y'all for joining tonight. Like the video for me. Subscribe to the channel. We'll be back here next Sunday recapping UFC 312. Till next time, hey, Job Picks.